Hey everyone, welcome back to Megaverse Builds. Today we are back at Spotify Camp Nou, and this update has a bit of everything. A diamond caught mid-pour on camera, the compression ring closing in fast on Tribuna, and a first look at how the Escalator zone is being transformed for matchday access. There's also fresh progress across the stadium's facade, mobility cores, and interior areas, making this another packed visit with plenty to uncover. Let's get into it. We start in the Lateral sector, where one diamond structure appeared ready for its concrete pour, with wooden boards signaling the process was imminent. And by the end of the walk, a concrete pump was confirmed actively pouring this structure live. This is one of 3 pentagon-shaped diamonds worked on across this sector, and once this pour cures, crews will move into the same routine seen on the other 2, stripping props, shoring beams, scaffolding, and formwork panels over the following days. Elsewhere in this sector, 2 of the 3 pentagon-shaped diamonds are now fully stripped of scaffolding, shoring, and formwork, standing exposed in raw concrete, with the 3rd and largest expected to follow soon. Material staging across this stretch continues to thin out as decorative louvers extend with strong continuity along the sector, aside from the mobility cores themselves, which still lack their louver substructure and remain the clearest visual gap along an otherwise finished-looking corridor. Ground leveling work also continues near the future parking access, using lightweight aggregate fill still being distributed across the site. This section of the 3rd parking phase remains one of the quieter zones on site, with the fill appearing to serve leveling needs elsewhere rather than an active build-out here. Before we move on, please like the video and subscribe for more updates, because Tribuna is where the compression ring is making its final approach. Counting from the current endpoint, only 8 more pillars and their radial beams remain before the ring links up across this entire stretch. And unlike the long curved runs from South Goal and North Goal, this final section is a straight line, meaning the remaining distance is shorter than it might first appear, despite looking like a smaller gap on a map. False work is already staged at the next pillar position, a necessary first step before the pillar itself goes up. And once 2 or 3 more pillars land here, tracking the remaining count becomes straightforward. Around this same zone, one of the diamond structures, the future shop, continues taking shape, though its current rendered concrete finish is still a placeholder ahead of a more refined wood-toned final treatment planned for later. A look that will likely extend to other diamonds around the stadium once this one sets the standard. A neighboring diamond expected to house the future ticket booths is likely to receive a similar upgraded finish, following the same design language established at the shop structure. At the Tribuna overlook, the Escalator zone is undergoing a major transformation, since this stretch will serve as the primary access route to the stadium's premium areas. Work here is being watched closely, given how much still needs finishing before the season begins, and this corridor is shaping up to be one of the more architecturally significant spaces in the whole build. A cluster of falsework units is staged nearby, ready to be lifted up to the 3rd tier as more compression ring components go in, alongside what appears to be mechanical or ventilation equipment recently placed in this same overlook area. Over at North Goal, Tower Crane 6 is actively lifting a new compression ring box into position, continuing to close the gap toward Tribuna from this side. North Goal currently trails South Goal slightly in ring installation, though both corners are expected to reach Tribuna in roughly the same time frame, given the pace crews have maintained on both fronts. The nearby Café Diamond hasn't yet taken on its stepped seating form, since the structure is still being used for material staging. A shape change here would interfere with ongoing storage needs, and the site appears to be prioritizing storage logistics over this particular structure's finishing for now. Upper-level partitioning has been added to this diamond, matching a pattern seen on the shop diamond, intended to organize future landscaping and plant placement across the rooftop. Ceramic decorative panels have also reached the north goal Tribuna corner, though the supporting anchor brackets for the louvers themselves are still pending, meaning full coverage in this stretch is still a little further out. Today we're taking you through level 50, the first floor of the VIP ring, where the common areas wrap all the way around the stadium in sectioned zones. Wall framing is now in place across this level, with rock wool insulation and panels installed throughout, and progress on the service infrastructure is visibly further along than our last visit. Behind the glass curtain wall, crews are working through interior partitions, elevator shaft openings, and restroom layouts, with steady movement forward since the previous check-in. According to the club, sections of the VIP ring are targeted to open in phases around the middle of this season, likely late December into January, though exact timing remains difficult to predict this far out. Common areas are noticeably more developed too, with heavy worker and equipment activity throughout. A clear sign this level remains a priority as the stadium works toward completing this ring as quickly as possible. Back at South Goal, decorative louvers continue extending across the sector with strong visual continuity, though the mobility cores in this stretch still lack their louver substructure entirely, meaning no near-term change is expected there until that framework goes up first. On a separate diamond structure in this area, work is ongoing, though progress on the aluminum glazing framework has been slower than on comparable structures elsewhere on site. Even so, crews continue making gradual advances, and once additional framing is installed, glazing work should begin accelerating, much like we've already seen in other completed diamond structures around the stadium. Rendering work on the VIP ring walls in this sector continues as well, with a noticeably longer stretch of the walls now finished compared to previous visits, moving this level closer to its next phase of finishing and giving a much clearer sense of how the completed ring will eventually look. That's today's walk around Spotify Camp Nou, a diamond caught being poured live at Lateral. The compression ring now down to just 8 pillars from completing its run to Tribuna, and steady louver and finishing progress continuing at both goal ends. Every visit reveals another piece of the transformation, with structural work gradually giving way to facade installation and interior finishing. The pace may vary from one area to another, but the overall direction remains clear as the stadium moves closer to its next major construction milestones. If you enjoyed this update, hit like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And let me know in the comments which area of the stadium you'd like me to focus on during the next walkthrough. See you in the next video.